There we go. Hey. Oh, man. Alright, let me see if I can bring this down. Get situated. Way late. Way late. Okay. So, jeez. Alright. So, my 8-hour workday, my freelance job, ended up turning into 10 hours. So that went crazy on me. Got here at the Blue Screen Gaming, forgot my second monitor, and could not get Streamlabs to actually move back to my primary monitor. So I've spent 30 minutes just trying to get that working. So I am not even close to being set up here, but I'm working on it. Okay. What's up, folks? So we're back at Monday, and I actually had some stuff to show. I had made some progress over the weekend, but I'm having one heck of a slow start. Okay, so let me try and bring some stuff up here. Let me get my Unity fired up. Oh, man. Just needed like to slow time down for like 20 minutes just so I could actually get all this right. Okay. Ba-boom. That should be correct. Move this over. Yeah, jeez, I can't even tell if that's going to be in the way or out of the way. Alright, I'll wait for that to come up. What's going on, folks? So, total madness, total mayhem. 10-hour workday. Raced over here with like 6 minutes, 8 minutes to spare. Tried to get set up. But, so yeah, I got some time in over the weekend. I was able to figure out, if you guys remember, the last thing I was playing with was trying to get the mascots to load up correctly. And in theory, I've got that worked out. The problem is where I'm staying, I literally have no internet there. So I was doing it as an offline test. So once I actually do the online test, it may still crash and burn, but getting closer. So let me see. Let me move this over. Maybe. All right. Let me drop that there. Let me see what we got here. Let me see where the edge of my screen is. There we go. Okay. Good. We're getting a little closer here. Oh, jeez. Okay. Boom. Okay. All right, so I'll put up a notice later on, but just let you guys know, I will not be doing a broadcast on Wednesday because I will be on an airplane heading back home for Thanksgiving. So I will not be able to do the broadcast because literally 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be rushing to the airport to deal with the madness that is Thanksgiving travel. But I will be back on Friday. If everything goes well, I'll be back home, back working on my machine, which means that I will be susceptible to freezing and crashing again. Yay! You know, but at least I'll have my stuff set up, so that's kind of an improvement. But oh well. All right. So yeah, we're kind of happening here for a Monday night. The place is kind of jumping, but that's all right. Let me see. Okay, so I got this. Do the test. There we go. There. So that's cool. So now it looks like it's just the regular default guys, but and it's gonna chew here for a second because I'm actually working off my thumb drive, my little USB memory stick. So that's why it's kind of going nuts there. But that may actually cache, so it may not be as bad the second go around. All right. So the cool thing is, the deceptive thing is that it looks like it's just the regular two guys. But what I did was, on the version I was working on, I hadn't gotten the guys, the other mascots implemented in that version. So I kind of a step back because if you guys remember, I did plug in those other characters, at least somewhat. But what I ended up doing was just taking that base guy and cloning him. So if you see, if we click on him, come over here, we'll see that he is, he's 1, and let's see, boom, and he is mascot number 4. So I do actually have it randomly choosing between the 5 mascots, 1 to 5, which right now, as I said, these are all just the same cloned ones, right, 1 through 5. But the cool thing is, the code is working, right? It's actually pulling in dynamically the correct character that you're choosing as your mascot character. So that at least is an improvement. I found the part of the code where it does the initial back and forth between the multiplayer, and now actually having it transfer the base information along with the type of mascot they're playing with. So that's good. So just out of curiosity, this will probably blow up, but I'm curious if I try and do an online version and see if that actually comes up without crashing. Because once again, when I was working on this over the weekend, I had no internet, so I was not able to test the online version. So let's see, do online. I have to give myself some more coins here in a second. Searching. Let's see if it does it. Fingers crossed. Hey. Wow. Cool. Okay. Wait. Actually, let me pause that. I hit pause. What the? Okay. And mascot 1 is probably going to be both of them mascot. No, it actually did. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's still doing the random load on that, but that's good. I actually didn't think that would work. That actually did. That's kind of cool. Okay. So what I need to do is come back, and I'm going to go online real quick into my online database so I can give myself more coins because I'm down to my 100 there. Which is interesting. It didn't deduct. Huh. Okay, did it just not refresh, or did it not deduct the money? Uh-oh. Did I just discover a bug there? Let's see. Here we go. 52. There we go. Let's see what it says. No, it's still 100. It should have actually deducted that. And I'm glad it didn't, but let's see, it's guess 1218. So go to client users. So I'm just going online real quick, doing it on my phone. So it's 1218. So let me go in there. This would be guest underscore 1218. Yep. Do a search. There we go. I found me. And edit it. And then we'll come over to data. And right now it shows I have 100 coins, and I'm just going to go nuts. I'm going to give myself 5,000 so I don't have to worry about running out. 5,000. Save. It's good to have keys to the kingdom there. Cool. All right. So now if I refresh it, easiest way is just turn it off and on again. I should pop up and have myself 5,000 coins at the waiting. There you go. 5,000. Good. All right. So I'm going to play through a game here real quick and see if I can do a 25 coin match, beat this guy real fast, and then see if I actually get the credits. If not, then it's not. Let's see. I mean, at least, because I quit the match, it should have at least deducted the coins from me, which is scary that I didn't see that happen. I may have broken something over the weekend. Although I don't think I was playing with the cash stuff, so that seems unlikely, but we'll find out. Oh, I forgot. Let me put him to sleep. Boom, one shot. Look at that. There you go. Oh. There he goes. That's there. Oop, I'm off. There you go. Alright, almost done. No. Uh-oh. Can I do it before he hits the stop? Uh-oh, this is going to get close. Got it. Ooh, that was close. I'll be respectful. Oh, wow, that's a glitch. It didn't actually go into the response. Huh. Oh, you know what? I think because I did a rename. Yeah, I did a rename. So it was looking for what I used to call the character before was the verses, and it should be looking for the mascot character. So there you go. There's something to fix, but it's good that it actually went through. So I got 25 coins. So I should be at 5,025. 26. Oh, because I had that 1 point bonus. It's weird, but it showed 25. Oh, man. Looks like I'm finding bugs all over the place here. Seems like the screen did show 25 with... Oh, no. The destruction was the 1 point bonus, so that was 26. Good. So that's not broken. Okay. But let me bring this up. Pause the game here. Stop it, rather. What's going on? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So I had it hard coded before. So what I need to do is find. That's gonna be a mascot. So he should be parented to the versus island rotator red mascot position. So if I find that, and I could probably just reach it that way. So yeah, versus blue script. Yeah, it's never gonna find that because once again I did. So this is kind of biting me because I'm just referencing the script to a hard-coded villager, the mascot that I had before. But now that I'm doing it dynamically, I need these variables to get loaded up at runtime. So let me see if I go. So where should I have to think about when I want the game controller to actually grab that. Versus blue versus red. Okay, let's try this. Once the challenge menu is displayed, I should be able to get at it with no problem. So, okay, I'm gonna make a new function here. Find mascots. There you go. All right. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to hold off and not do that until a game actually starts. So we'll say start online game. Hey, first time here. Which Barry Allen for Flash did you animate? Which Barry Allen? It's well, I mean, if you're talking about which episode, it was the second half of season 3. The episodes where, well, no, actually, sorry. There's 2 different times. Season 1, I also worked for the company I'm working for right now over in Culver City. There was the first Flash Arrow crossover episode. So if you watch the demo reel, which is kind of the old version, that one actually is the Barry Allen from the first crossover episode. So that was like, I think that was season 2, I think. Or in the season 1 or season 2, the first crossover episode. But tell you what, if you give me a second, I'll try and dig up the. I have like a little hidden one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Actually, I should do it on my laptop here. Once again, didn't bring my second monitor, so I'm kind of like playing at a disadvantage here tonight in terms of my setup. But bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can find YouTube. See if I can find the other video where I have all the stuff I worked on. Yeah, so if you watch the stuff that's in I'm assuming you looked at my demo reel that I posted a while back. The stuff there is like when he runs into the bank, all that. That was part of that crossover episode. But I also worked on, like I said, the second half of season 3. Let's see if I can drag it up here. I think I have it online, just kind of tucked away. I thought I did. Maybe I don't. Okay. I'll have to put it online. So, I don't have the video on my YouTube. I thought I actually had it just as an unlisted. But, so there's a handful of episodes that I did for season, the second half of season 3. So, like the Gorilla City sequence, there's a few episodes in there. There's an alleyway shot with a motorcycle. He and Kid Flash are chasing down a motorcycle guy. So technically a little bit from the first Arrow Flash crossover, and then a bunch of stuff in the second half of season 3. So hope that answers the question. Let's see. You know what? Actually, maybe I have it. I might get sneaky here. I might have it on my desktop. Give me 1 second. I'll see if I can dig it up. If you're curious. Let's see. Or maybe, maybe I might even have it on my thumb drive. Less likely, but we'll see. Boom. Video Comic-Con demos. Nope, it's not there. Okay, I don't. Nope, I thought I had it on there. You saw my porn folder on my thumb drive? Which one is my porn folder? Point it to me, because I could use one. Let's see. The bot. Okay, that's Boblat. It should be bot. B-O-T. Bot plat. Android. Android. Oh, that's my porn. Android's my porn folder. No. Yeah, that's actually a misnamed folder. It's B-O. It should be B-O-T. Yeah. Okay, fine. Here you go. If you're gonna call me out, I'll fire it up. I'll do a 640 windowed. There you go. Please don't be porn. Please don't be porn. That would be terrible. No, it is my Bot Blast game. Whoa! Whoa, that was loud, wasn't it? Sorry about that. Jeez. Let me, volume mixer, let me drop that down by about 100%. So, there you go. There's my porn. B-O-T, Bot Blast. Not to be confused with that stuff. So this is a prototype that I did a while back. This is about, about 3 or 4 weeks worth of stuff that I threw together. And actually, I'm probably going to take this game, this design, and repurpose it for my next project, which I've teased a couple times before, which I look forward to telling you guys about pretty soon, very soon, but not quite yet. That's when I told you about I was going to actually use a pretty famous intellectual property. But, sorry, I'm still teasing it right now. I'm not going to actually dish on it quite yet, but soon. When can I play it on the Nintendo 64? Wow. I'm not sure if that was a compliment or an insult or a backhanded compliment. Yeah, I mean it's retro, you know. It's definitely a retro look. Oh, are you saying you're saying the 64 because it looks like Mario? It's a joke. Gotcha. Sorry, man. I'm already on a long day. You know, my freelance job went for 10 hours a day, and then I just got over here and had all kinds of tech issues. So I'm a little slow in the uptake, but yeah. Actually that was kind of an inspiration because I mean I love the round world kind of play fields. I think they're so cool, and I just wanted to try and see if I could do one myself. So, it's okay, Dad. Oh, is that an age joke now? Wow. Okay. I resemble that remark. Just because I was old enough for the original Nintendo 64 to buy it out of my own funds. But yeah, so I wanted to try and see if I could do like a nice little round world shooter. And it's kind of interesting that this is kind of a total cheat. There's, I didn't Yeah, it's an age joke because I'm 13. Well, okay, I got you. Let's see. I got you by, yeah, a lot of years. Okay. So, fair enough. But so the fun thing about this is I'm not actually using like gravity in the sense of pulling towards the earth. I'm actually doing it by I actually have like all these characters and all the shots are controlled by little controllers at the center of the planet, and then they so it's like all these objects are like stuck on the end of a control that rotates around the planet. Boom. So it was just kind of a quick way to sort of like make sure that everyone sticks on the island on the planet without having to worry about the physics going nutty. 13, yeah, I remember it. I remember being 13 years old, kind of. You know, back like last century, long time ago. Yeah. So, McFly. Oh, we're doing the McFly again. There he goes. Hey, you're back. There you go. Oh, do I have to do it? I remember being 13 feels bad, man. Yeah, 13 was, yeah, 13 was like okay, but okay, no, sorry, I gotta do the McFly. Okay, it is my obligatory McFly. Okay, here we go. You ready? Doc, are you trying to tell me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean? There you go. There's your McFly fix for the night. Okay, is that good? Yeah. Yeah, 13 was good and bad. So good. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. So yeah, so if all this other stuff, if all my animation jobs disappear on me, right? And if I figure out, if I stop remembering how to make games, I guess I can always just kind of like head up to Hollywood, which is just basically north of here, and like stand out in the street corner and like do Marty impressions all day in my little Marty McFly outfit. The slight voice try. So damn good. Oh, you're gonna have to give me a minute here, Doc. This is getting heavy. There's that word again. Was there something wrong with the gravity in the future? Uh-oh. I'm going down the future rabbit hole again. I'll try and stop. So, thanks. Thank you. Yes. Okay. You know what? Maybe. I won't promise, but Friday I get back home, right? Friday I'll be back home in Vegas. I might be tempted to actually dress up in the Marty outfit. How about that? Complete with the glasses and the jacket, right? I'm tempted. I might do that, If you promise. If you promise to come back Friday. if you come back Friday, I will do the whole complete with the Casio watch, the glasses, I even have the little earphones. Cosplay from my favorite anime. Yeah. So if I'm going to push it really far, I'll have to dig it up. I don't have it with me. I have it at home. So as I told you, I do the cosplay stuff at Comic-Con in San Diego, right? So I actually have all three future outfits, Marty outfits. So I have Back to the Future 1, and then I have Future Marty, and then I have Western Marty. And so one year, this is a few years ago, actually I did it on different days, and I had a buddy take a picture of me in 3 different positions in front of my table, and I actually composited it all together. So I have this picture of me, like all 3 Martys, all doing the pose, So I even made like my own little makeshift hoverboard just out of foam core paint and that kind of stuff. But obviously the Marty 1 is the one that obviously gets the most recognition. That's the one that people see and kind of, it's funny. I'll walk around the conventions and it's like, it's like, what, are you afraid you're going to drown? So I always get that a lot, Or just they ask, where's Biff? Or sometimes they ask, where's the hoverboard? And it's kind of like, that's the wrong movie. Come on, man. If you're going to be technical about this, right? Look at this. This is Marty 1, okay? I mean, come on. If I had a hoverboard, I'd have to get the proper outfit. So you obviously aren't a future fanatic that you missed that, But, yeah. And then Oh, once again, sorry, going off on the future diatribe again, but Mattel actually released uh, a version of the hoverboard, and they premiered it at Comic Con in San Diego, and this was the year that I actually was doing the whole outfit. So it was funny. I went over because I just wanted to take a picture of it, right? So I have like me with like one of these better made hoverboards, and I went over there. I got the picture done, and then I was going nowhere. I was there for like 10 minutes because as soon as I start to yeah, as soon as I would start to like walk away, it's like, oh, Marty, get over there, here, you know. So I was doing pictures for like 10 minutes. Yeah, but yeah, they did. It was actually pretty good. It looked good, but they sold it like for, I mean, it was just plastic, right? And they were selling it for like $150, which is kind of like, it's just plastic. So me and my makeshift, $1,000. No, $150. 150. No, $1,000? Yeah, it better be made out of gold or so. Or yeah, if it's $1,000, it better work. Okay, I better be able to just like levitate. You know, I'm not. Yeah. No, but yeah, it was funny. I was doing like posing for like a while. You know, I was the yeah, I don't know. I was the Marty placeholder for a couple minutes. Oh, okay, I got you. So you looked it up, and they're actually going for $1,000. Oh, man, I wish I would have known, man. I would have bought a couple of them and turned around and put them on eBay, complete with a picture of me holding it up or something. You know, my makeshift Marty. Wow, $1,000. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I can't believe that. And it's just plastic. It literally is like, you know, $2 or $3 worth of, you know, plastic, and it's $1,000. All right, definitely missed out on that opportunity. That would have made a decent amount of amount probably. Yeah, yeah. Ah, all right. I learned my lesson. Next time, I'll buy. But I mean, come on. You gotta admit, you know, you look at it and you go, it's, you know, I'm not going to pay $150 for a piece of plastic, but I mean, no way. Just use the DeLorean. Yeah, yeah, yep. Uh, Such a great movie. Such a great car. Oh, actually, it's a crappy car, but it was great for the movie. Stainless steel helps disperse the, yeah. Oh, just use it. Okay. I just sorry. I'm smaller screen. I just read that correctly. Just use the DeLorean. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Mr. Fusion is on the blink, so I'm not sure if I can actually get back there. Besides, I'd end up just bumping into myself and, you know, causing, you know, a paradox, you know. Uh, so anyways, so I did have some success, I was saying. Uh, yeah, choosing the DeLorean was a masterstroke. Okay, so here we go. I'll go down this road again. So you know that wasn't the question. How did you learn Unity and programming? Oh, hey, happy to answer. Honestly, self-taught. Um, I'm once again, as I was told earlier, I'm old, right? So when I was in school, there weren't any computer classes. There was nothing like there is today. So I just sort of like winged it. I've always kind of played with it. I've always, you know, kind of done programming as a bit of a hobby, but I mean, nothing really formal. So in terms of Unity, what I did was there was a website kind of like Udemy, but it was a different one. It was something like Design 6 or Design 7 or something like that, and they had a bunch of tutorials. So I just spent like a weekend just like absorbing all these tutorials, and then after that, I just started doing little quick prototypes, and I would know how to do nothing, so I would constantly find other people's code, and just kind of like, that's to me the biggest trick, is just finding other people's code that's already done it before. And since Unity's been out for a decade, there's almost nothing that, oops, sorry about that, just bounce the camera. There's nothing you can come up against in terms of like stumbling blocks that that you can't find an answer to. You Google it, and you can find someone else has an example code. So that was it. It was playing for a week or two, just trying to wrap my head around the whole process. And then when I first started, actually, I didn't use C Sharp. Unity had support for Unity Script, which was a derivative version of JavaScript, which is a lot more forgiving in terms of the the programming. But over the years, Unity has kind of phased out Unity Script. I mean, it's totally sunsetted now. In the new version, 2018, they've completely yanked it. So over time, I gradually shifted to C Sharp, but no formal class. I did take one high school class, but this was before most of you guys were born, and it was on a Apple IIc with Pascal. So technically, you could say yes, I did have one computer class, but Pascal on an Apple IIc I don't think really counts as a formal education. It taught me what not to do. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Back then, candles, for lighting and I wrote Pascal in high school. Hey, look at that. See, we got something common. There you go. We both did some Pascal in high school. Yeah, on a Apple IIc. That was fun times on the green screen. It was just the one color. But yeah. So no, okay. So sorry, I was derailed there for a second, but I was going to finish the thought. You're talking about the DeLorean being the perfect car. You know that the DeLorean was not the initial choice, right? If you're the big future fan like I am, Apple II, the Apple IIc was before your time. Okay, yeah, yep. Well, I've been around. It's not the years, it's the mileage. So yeah, Back to the Future. The original script. Actually, it was not a DeLorean. The original script, the time machine was a refrigerator. I don't know if you know that, but Bob Gale, in his infinite wisdom, decided that kids might like the movie, and he had this terrible thought of kids getting trapped in refrigerators. So they just kind of arbitrarily said, let's just make it a car, and they rewrote the script to adapt it. But that was it. And I think originally Doc was a janitor in the high school. I think that was, which if you think about that, Doc as a janitor, as like a mad scientist janitor, kind of makes a little more sense in the sense that, Marty would hang out with them, right? If he's in the school, that's one thing, but, Marty, this, young 15-year-old kid hanging out with the creepy scientist dude that lives in the creepy burned down house on the hill, that is kind of, God, when you think about that, that really is kind of a strange relationship, Do the Marty impression, but with fridge for... Okay, let's see. I don't even know what to do for... let's see. Doc, are you trying to tell me you built a time machine out of a refrigerator? Where's the extension cord? Yeah, I hate that I actually thought about that though. I mean, now that I've actually thought about that, it's like, I mean, if you have a 15-year-old kid and he spends all his time hanging out with an old dude, he was 17. Was he? I guess he was. I guess I was thinking in my own terms. I was younger in high school, not because I was smarter, just because my parents got really sick and tired of me being around the house, so they put me in school as early as possible. I know, shocking, right? Thank you very much. So yeah, I always think in those terms that I didn't hit 16 until like part of the way into my senior year, So I mean, yeah, yeah. So I have slightly a different viewpoint, but so yeah, I guess you're right. He was 17. Although in reality, I think Michael J. Fox was like deep in his 20s, right? I think he was late 20s by the time he's doing that. But yeah, he still pulled it off. I mean, after all, he was what, like 4'8" height? Sorry, it's a mean height joke, but come on, hey, come on, I'll grow up one of these days, All right. So that's it. I'm going to just stop doing game development, and I'll just, I'll just do this thing where you guys hand me scripts, and I'll just read all the scripts as Marty McFly. How about that? He was 24. Okay, I was okay. I okay. There you go. So he's 24. Yeah, but I mean, he pulls it off. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, like we are talking about before. I mean, a lot more than Eric Stoltz would have. I mean, Eric Stoltz, man, he looked like he was 30 when he was probably 13. Not to mention he was like all downbeat. Mr. Depressed. So that's my viewpoint on it. I mean, not bagging on Eric Stoltz. I definitely much better actor than I would ever have been, but definitely not a Marty. But yeah, so I was talking about the fridge. I guess I was the whole point. But and just the fact that he was like originally a janitor, I think, in their early drafts of the script. But yeah, I'm glad they changed that. I mean, a janitor that invents time travel seems a bit much. But yeah, such a great movie. All right, so should I actually try and be a little productive tonight? I mean, you know what? Actually, I'm going to take a break here. Sorry. I am out of my liquid refreshment, so let's see. Don't spill. Don't blow up on me. Don't. Yeah. What do you want, kid? Oh, just give me a tab. A tab? How am I supposed to give you a tab? You haven't ordered anything yet. Just give me something without any sugar. There you go. There's my bonus, Marty. So, there you go. Sorry, just had to get the liquid refreshment break there. What's going on, folks? How you guys doing? Okay. So, what I was going to do is, I got two things I could try and shoot for. I spent too much time watching that video. Well, here's the thing. Back in the day, okay, once again, hey Sonny, when I was a little boy, you have to understand, I mean, you want to watch a movie, right? You go to Netflix, Amazon, fire it up. Worst case scenario, if it's not available for free, Amazon, you pay $5 and you can pretty much watch virtually any movie you want, right? Back in the day, well, to begin with, there was nothing, right? I mean, once a movie left the theater, you weren't going to see it again until like 7 years later when it came on public television, and then it was like chopped up and filled with commercials, and then we had like when VHS came out. True, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warrior, because it was all I had on tape for years. I mean, I worked in a video store, right? And I used that. I would like take the recorder home and clone copies at home of all. I mean, this was like Top Guns. This was late 80s, right? I would and I had like this collection of VHS, And yeah, I watched them like crazy because, I mean, it was so cool because there was no commercials, right? And it was like the original content. It wasn't edited, so all the good stuff was in there, But, I mean, yeah, I mean, it is so funny. There's certain movies that I have just seen way too many times. But, okay, you know what? Well, let's see. I feel so bad, nostalgia, bombing your streams, all this. No, hey, I'm having fun. If you guys are having fun, I'm having fun. And my game will get finished eventually anyways, right? I'll just, you know what? I'll keep talking to you guys, and I'll get my staff to take care of the game for me. I'll just, staff. Oh, I forgot. I still don't have a staff. Who cares? The game will get finished, right? Come on, I worked on it over the weekend, right? So there you go. I actually made some progress. I showed you, the little guys actually pop up correctly now. So, I'll get it done. But, so I was going to do the true, this is terrible, the true confessions. So this would have been, what, late 70s, 80? So before videotape movies even existed, I mean, originally when they would release movies on videotape, they would sell them for, I mean, everyone's used to like DVDs and movies being like 12 bucks, 15 bucks, or whatever, right? VHS movies used to be $100, and we're talking decades ago, because they were designed to be sold to video stores. Excuse me. And then you would like pay a membership to go to a video store, and then you'd rent the movie, right? But I mean, no one remembers this, but Top Gun was actually the first movie to not charge $100, right? They had this experiment, and they sold it for $19, and they sold millions, because it was just so incredibly cheap that we all did that, right? And we all bought it like crazy. But so if you're lucky enough, you had someone that had access to certain cables and that kind of stuff in Japan. Anime cost $60 plus for DVD. Wow. Okay. Well, then it's it's still not cheap. Jeez. But my dad actually got a pirated copy of a movie, and it was the first time we ever had an actual movie that was there's like 2-3 episodes at most on one DVD. So yeah, that's some serious expense just for a couple episodes, but if you love it, you got to have it, right? So the very first movie, the pirated movie I had as a little kid, totally inappropriate for my age too, was the Burt Reynolds movie Smokey and the Bandit. And I watched I can't even tell you how many times I've seen that movie. I mean, probably at least 100 times, but I mean to the point where I could just like take moments and just like do entire passages of the movie. It's just embarrassing, but I mean it's so ingrained, but it's I mean, part of it is youth, and part of it is just because it was such a novel thing at the time to have that, to have access to that, in unedited movie. I mean, all the swear words came out of our TV, which, once again, was an incredibly novel concept. But now, I mean, now you got access to everything, which I love. I mean, I'm a total. I mean, Netflix, Amazon, I got them both, and I watch them like crazy. I used to pirate VHS and draw covers for them myself. Oh, that is cool. That is so cool. That's incredibly creative. I would put stickers on them, put the name on them, and just put them aside. I did not actually go to the effort. That's really cool. That's nice. Yeah. Wow. That's cool. You like make a little sleeve for it with the custom artwork for it. That's pretty trick. I like that. Let's see. All right. I can still try and do something here. So I can either do one of two things. I can either try and go back and start replacing the placeholder mascots with the proper ones, or I could try and find how to record movies from TV and make the covers. Yeah, I was like 10 or so. That is so cool. I love it. That's very creative. 10 years old. What was I doing at 10 years old? I was probably just, I don't know, eating paste. No, I drew a lot. When I was a kid, I was a terrible student. I don't know if you can get a sense of this, but sometimes I get easily distracted. Yeah, okay, I guess it's kind of obvious. But, yeah, before anime was huge in the U.S., my friends and I did that in the 90s for stuff we liked. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. But, yeah, so, I mean, I did. I drew a lot. It was so much more entertaining than actually doing schoolwork. I was a terrible student all through high school and college, but I still, in spite of myself, I still managed to graduate, which, for what that's worth. But, yeah, when I was a kid, man, of course, I grew up on Star Wars, right? Oh, now there's a movie. That was a movie because that was, once again, before VHS, before any of that kind of stuff. They would just bring Star Wars back out to the theater and do re-releases, right? And my dad would he would just drop me off at the movie theater and he would give me enough money to get some, like, popcorn at some point, and then I would just go into the movie and I would just watch it, like, 4 times in a row. And one of those times I'd go at it and actually get popcorn and then go back in. But I would watch it back to back to back to back. I was just so enthralled by it, So I mean, of course, I was drawing TIE fighters and X-wings. You know, when I was a kid, they had the first remastered of Star Wars. Yeah, yeah, I got mixed feelings about that when it got Lucasized. Um, yeah, there's I don't know if you ever watched South Park episodes, but there's an episode of South Park which is absolutely my drop dead favorite episode, and the episode is entitled "Free Hat," and it completely jumps on the whole. Let's not talk about that. Yeah, the episode of South Park. You can go to like South Park Studios on the website and probably watch it. The episode is called "Free Hat," and I love it because it goes on that very subject about Lucas going back and modifying the movies, and of course, like Spielberg went back and modified E.T. Right? He digitally replaced all the guns with walkie-talkies. So you have G-men running around going ch-ch-ch with walkie-talkies. They're loading walkie-talkies. you know. Uh, let's see. YouTube. Oh, did you find it? Wow, that was fast. Let's see. Is that Star? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Star Wars, yeah. I watched that. That is hysterical. I like the song. I like the original song a lot, but that cover version is absolutely hysterical too, right? And it is so true. You just have the Lucas kind of going, messing with it. Lucas, I'm conflicted, because I mean, it's an interesting discussion. You guys can tell me what you think, but the question is who owns the product, right? I mean, we as fans, we feel that it's ours, and once he puts it out there into the universe, right, it's ours to love and ours to cherish, and he shouldn't be able to go back and mess with it. But at the same time, he is the guy that created it, right? I mean, this is his baby, and if he wants to go back and butcher it, I mean, that is his prerogative. I think he had a lot of good people that kept him in check. Yeah. Marsha Lucas is a perfect example. I mean, the story is Marsha, the original cut of Star Wars was a total fiasco, but his wife at the time, Marsha Lucas, is the one that cut it and turned it into the masterstroke. Then as the whole franchise grew, nobody could say no to him anymore. Very true. I think I mentioned before. I don't know if you guys were around, but I mentioned before that I actually had an interview. This is like, kajillion years ago. But I had an interview to do animation for the third Star Wars movie. And I had a great interview, but I didn't land the job. Let's see. Then as the whole franchise grew, and nobody could say, yeah. But so, I mean, it's so true that, I mean, I didn't get to work on it, but I did have a friend of mine, a very talented visual effects artist named Barry, that actually worked up in the third episode 3. Yes, I would have been animating Roger robots, had I actually gotten that job. But I don't know, mixed blessing. I mean, it'd been fun to say that, yes, I worked on a Star Wars film, but then I'd have to say, yes, it was one of the prequels, and they go, oh, but I dodged a bullet. I dodged a laser blast. But, yeah, so what I was going to say is that a friend of mine worked on the third floor, so he worked in the previous stuff, and he would tell us stories, about how it was kind of creepy. Now, I mean, part of it was because it was literally the third floor's the attic of Lucas Ranch, but part of it is also because they had cameras that were webcasting all the time, which, I mean, nowadays it's much more common, but at the time it was it felt very voyeuristic, I think. But yeah, and I mean, he would talk about when Lucas would come in and he would suggest stuff, and they would just kind of go, really? Okay. But you're right. I mean, it was the sense that no one would say no to him. No one could say no to him. I mean, when it's not like one of the things you could go to his higher up and say that this guy's out of control, because he was the higher up, right? I mean, it was his baby. It was totally under his control. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I like I said, I'm totally conflicted because I mean, I absolutely love the movie still do. It was a childhood favorite, but it is his. Uh, I love to hate on Lucas, but you can't deny the influence on our field. Not just movies, but also computer graphics. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Pixar actually came from Lucas, right? Well, there you go. You're typing as I'm saying. Yeah, the Adventures of Andre and Willie B was an experiment, and it was being heralded by John Lasseter, and um, yeah, and it's just it's yeah, and but the stumbling block came from the fact that John Lasseter saw this as a tool to tell stories in movies, and Lucas just saw it as a way to make X-wings cheaper, and they kind of had that split, and the agreement was if uh, uh, is one of your heroes. Yeah, Catmull. Yeah, I love it. Clark Catmull. I mean, we still have those settings in all the 3D programs, right? Where it's like, what type of shading do you want to use? So, yeah, a true. I mean, it's so funny that you think that it's like that stuff's been around for forever, but no. I mean, that was him pioneering all that stuff. So, yeah, Z buffer. There you go. Yeah. Yes. Which, yeah, absolutely changed everything. Texture mapping. Uh huh. Yeah, I mean, so just yeah, the combination of Catmull to create the technology, right, and Lasseter to have the vision, right, of doing these storytellings. Um, I can still, yeah, I remember, and it's so funny. I remember the very first time I saw Luxo Jr. I went to a animated film festival, a short film festival, with no knowledge what was there. Just I wanted to see animated films, and in the middle of it, right, just right there in the middle was Luxo Jr., right? And as soon as it came on, I was focused. I was trying to figure it out, and I swear for the first couple minutes, I just assumed it was stop motion animation. You know, I mean, especially like the cord would ripple and be like little pops because they had to animate everything by hand then, right? So there was no procedural stuff to do that. So it had kind of a imprecise stop motion look to it. But yeah, when I learned that was actually CG, I was just blown away and been obsessed. Um, Toy Story was the first VHS I bought from my own pocket money. That's so cool. Mm, that is so cool. Yeah, it was definitely an inspiration for me as well. I had actually started a short animated film. This would have been in the late '90s, and I tinkered with it on and off, and I would get discouraged, and I would kind of stop down on it, and maybe like do little bits here and there, but just never really push. But then I came out to visit some friends here in California, and we went to go see Toy Story 2, and yeah, that was it. I went home and I just like went nuts and raced through it, finished it, and then that's when I moved out to California. This would have been like in 2000 with my little animated short film under my, tucked in my arm, and just went out here and just said, here, I do this, let me be an animator. And, 18 years ago, that was a lot more conceivable. It was, it was easier to walk in and just tell people you were an animator and people believed it. But, yeah, I mean, all those, I mean, especially, I mean, the short films. Yeah, I love all the. Well, no, I won't say I love all. I love most Pixar films. They've had a couple of missteps, right? But my own personal favorite, still to this day, I think, is not even one of their feature films. My favorite thing is one of their short films called Knick Knack. I don't know if you've seen it. It's in a couple of compilations, but and of course Disney sort of like corrected a couple of things. They Disneyized a couple of the characters, but they're like snow globes kind of thing, right? And it's just these like touristy collector kind of things, so these little figurines that come to life. And it was the first time that they introduced in computer animation like physical comedy, and it was so perfect. It was so hysterical that I loved it. The timing was great, and I mean to this day it's still one of my favorites. I mean, and you have Bobby McFerrin singing in the music in the background. It's just like That to me is just like such a beautiful, beautiful piece. But I mean, so many of their films are just gorgeous as well. But I mean, skipping over maybe a couple of the more recent Cars movies, but we'll skip that. But yeah, and for the record, I never applied to Pixar. Um, let's see. If you're interested in a not so technical the time at Pixar, uh, check out to Pixar and Beyond. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. No, I own that. Yeah, to to Pixar and Beyond. Yes. Yeah, love that book. Love history. Yeah, me too, man. I I definitely absorbed that like a sponge. It was so cool just to see how it almost didn't happen on so many different levels. I mean, the irony that they were, you know, that it was just going to be a technology company, just a hardware company, and that it sort of like backed its way into the whole. Well, if we do commercials, maybe we can earn some cash, you know. But yeah, like I said, I never actually had the nerve to apply to Pixar. Um, to me, it was I looked at it as sort of a lose-lose scenario. I mean, if I applied to Pixar, um, yeah, would be my dream employer. Yeah, it just to me, it's like okay, so if I apply to Pixar and and they say no, right? It's like Marty, right? What if they just say I'm no good? I just don't think I could take that kind of rejection. But I mean that was part of it. And then the other part is what if they actually said yes? I mean, oh my God. I mean, I've been doing animation for a cajillion years, but I know my abilities and I know to what extent it is, and I'm comfortable in the stuff I do, right? It's not Pixar quality. The idea that I would be like animating around those guys and women that are just so amazingly talented, I would just be like waking up in a cold sweat every morning kind of going, I'm just going to get fired. I'm just going to get fired. I can't do this, and just I mean, I would love to work on those projects, but I would be so terrified that I would measure. Uh, you've got to grow a ton in that position. Yeah, I think so. I think. I mean, I've actually been to Pixar. Um, not as an employee, but no, a friend that was there actually invited me, and I got to tour the place, and I've actually talked to a few people that have actually worked there, and I think that's totally true. I think that no matter how good you are, um, yeah, I think once you get into there, right, you definitely have the ability to kind of go, yeah, wow, I still got room to improve. Absolutely, yeah, but and then I mean, I was not a big fan of the idea of moving up to Northern California. I mean, I was okay with Southern California, but I mean, at this point, honestly, I'm home in Las Vegas. It's just so much cheaper, and like this, if I get a job, I just cruise into LA for a couple of weeks and then sneak back to Vegas. I would love to work on real-time rendering there. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. So there you go. Rob Legato, who is he was the one that was actually doing all of the ILM lab stuff. My first job when I moved out to LA, when I was trying to get animation work and I just needed to pay the bills, my first job, I was working as a data wrangler at Sony ImageWorks on Stuart Little 2. And Rob Legato was the top dog. Even then, he was like insanely young, but so brilliant, man. So I'm not surprised that he jumped and it's just absolutely running the show there at ILM. I mean, he's the one that led the crew that did the Trials of Tatooine, the VR Star Wars demo, which I don't know if you've seen it, but I mean it's just insanely immersive. uh, Disney Research opened in Zurich last year, not as a researcher, but as an engineer who works closely with researchers, prototypes to life, not having had the guts to apply. You know what? Same for me too. Excuse me. They this is about a year ago, about a year and a half ago. ILM Labs was looking for someone that had like a couple of years worth of video game experience, but also had several years worth of film or television experience in animation and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, man, I mean, they describe me to a T, you know, and kind of like the Pixar thing. I mean, it was a situation where I was so tempted to apply for it, but I mean, at that point, the idea of uprooting my wife and I and moving up to go work up there was just, it seemed too much, you know. And also, if I applied and I got crickets, then I'd feel like garbage again. So I actually did not apply. You know, part of me wishes I really had. You know, because I mean the stuff they're doing is just insane, cutting edge stuff. You know, but it didn't happen. I didn't try. Oh well. It was knowledge in computer graphics, but also having knowledge with front end dev. Is it? Let me see this. Didn't come up. Is it? Oops. Let's see. I'm sure it was a JPEG, or it actually didn't display correctly, but I'm assuming it's the a frowny face or something similar. But knowledge with front end. Yeah, well, that would have definitely cut me out for sure as well. Oh, it's just a meme. Okay. Yeah. But no, I mean I'm not about to complain though. I've had a fantastic time in all the stuff I've done. True story. So, as I said, I moved out to California, and it was 2000, early 2000, and my only goal was to try and actually go to work at Digital Domain, and it took me about a little over a year, but I got in there, and I mean it was awesome, man. I was, you know, that was what I wanted most, and you know, after I worked there, let's see, for I think I worked a year and a half in the commercial division, and then it's kind of like, well, what do I do now? Because that was my goal. So I've been sort of like making up as I've gone along since then, you know. But and just, I mean, enjoying every new challenge. But it's been great, you know, and being able to jump into the game stuff, and still be able to like go back and dabble in the VFX stuff, you know, which is still fun. I can't wait to tell you guys about what I was working on, what I've been working on for the last week and for a few more weeks. Can't do it until it actually hits the screen, but I'll tell you about it later on. It's nice that you're also doing your own stuff. It is. I mean, it's always a challenge when you're, you know, when you're debating. You know, I mean, have I actually reached the proper level? You know, because you can sometimes overthink things, and you can go too far and waste your time, and the other things you can kind of think are fine and put it out there, and then realize that you were completely off base, and that no, that's not fine. You still got work to do. So, I mean, I try, and that's the reason I go to all the conventions and put the games out there, let people test it, so I get the proper feedback. Hey, there you go. I got a follow there. Thank you, Arkenstone85. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you much. Oh, you know what? Actually, did I muck up? I'm sorry. I was so messed up in my setup here that I forgot. I'm streaming to 3 different places. Let me do this real quick. Let me go to my... What am I going? Desktop. Really? That's all I got from my desktop? Let me fire up Chrome here, because I realized I might actually have something happening. I need to get my Restream chat set up so I can actually see if there's other stuff happening. Restream. Sorry, bear with me 1 second here. I'm sorry. This is not the most exciting, but chat. Let's see if that actually works. There he goes. I think that's working. There he goes. Cool. All right, so yeah, I mean, it's just most of my stuff is obviously coming through Twitch, obviously, but it's also on Mixer and YouTube Red. Ow, crud. So I just want to make sure that if someone actually piped up there, I wouldn't miss it. That'd be a jerk thing, you know. Someone's trying to talk to me. It's like, he's not responding. Why is he ignoring me? But there you go. But yeah, It's been great. I mean, it's it's fun to see the evolution that I've gone through with my game stuff, right? You know, finding the right and wrong ways to do things. But yeah, it's when the stuff gets dragged out, you kind of want to move on to the next project. But I think that's the biggest challenge. Starting a game, to be honest, I think starting a game is really easy, but actually finishing it, especially when you've been on it for so long that you tend to lose sight of the objectives, and you really want to kind of like that's your issue. Yeah, I think that's most people's issue. I mean because enthusiasm is such a big driver. I mean you get all this excitement, right? And everything's new, right? The prototype, you're bringing it together, and you're seeing the beginning kernels of the thing happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's just when you're just putting it together. But I mean, it's like once the thing is actually up and running, and you have to finish all the other components, that's when it really gets bogged down, and then disturbing it, uh, and that crap, and that crap on, man. That crap on. Yeah, yeah. I used to take feedback a lot more personal when I first started doing it. Just hire someone to do that if I ever get to that point. Oh, you're talking about yeah, distribution? Yeah, yeah. That's definitely been an Achilles heel for me as well. I've been really bad about that in my previous games. My first game, I actually hired a PR firm because it was my first toe in the water, and it did pretty well for me. But I mean, it's a lot of money that I spent on that. Since then, I've been really bad about just sort of like putting the game out there and just kind of hoping it does, throw the bird out the window, hope it flies away and does well. But this one I hope to actually get back to doing proper, proper advertising. I'm toying with the idea of actually maybe, hey, of actually maybe doing some PR service again to help with that. I mean, because the hardest thing, I think, is just trying to reach the influencers, right? I mean, the PR firms, in theory, the thing they're giving you is sort of like the velvet rope into the club, right? They give you access to the influencers who no guarantee they'll actually still cover you, but at least they are going to get you an opportunity to get to them versus you doing it yourself. Itch.io can be a good for getting it out there. Yeah. Let's see. I have no, I actually have it on NDDB. I don't actually have anything set up on Itch.io yet. Yeah, I think in terms of exposure, I think that's another avenue. I know a lot of people have talked about the idea of the trade-off of Itch.io versus Steam, or even like Discord now, right? That's another avenue. But if you're a small crew trying to release on so many different platforms, I think gets to be a fantastic challenge as well. So, I mean, it's a tough choice, but yeah. Let's see. I have an Itch.io account, but I don't think I've actually set anything up on there. But yes, it's one I should definitely look into. As I said before, I'm still on the fence on if I'm going to actually do this as a release for desktop as well. Definitely for mobile, iOS and Android. But if I go that route, then I got to figure out how I want to monetize. If I just do it as like you get the local play for free, and then if you want online, you have to pay some money. Or if I want to try and do a free-to-play, which I think free-to-play, especially on Steam, is a really big challenge. I think you really got to be a bigger crew to pull that off. I mean, there's so much to handle, and it's just, I mean, it seems like a minority of my time actually goes to the actual development, and it seems like the rest of the time is handled just dealing with conversations on different subjects or just the actual business side. But I'm crying about it. You just got to work harder. You just got to get it out the door. Which, hopefully, if I ever finish this, I will be doing. Just got to figure out. Once again, I'm still toying with the idea if I'm going to do this as my true, like I talked about, as the free-to-play with all the ads and the in-app purchase stuff, or if I'll bite the bullet and just do it as a free for local play, and then just a one-time fee for multiplayer. I'm still ping-ponging back and forth on that idea. Once I get closer to getting all my to-do lists wrapped up, I'll probably revisit that. But for the time being, I just got to focus on getting this thing knocked out. All right. So, like an hour ago, I started talking about trying to find my mascots. So maybe I'll actually try and do a little bit of that now. So what I'm going to do is actually find these guys. So I go game object. Let's see. Do it that way. But no, please keep talking. You got other questions or comments or other movie talks? I'll talk movies for forever. Haven't seen anything lately. What's the last movie I actually went to the theater to see? God, it's been so long. I want to see Aquaman if the reviews are good. I think I mentioned they're definitely having more fun than I am. I'm at work too. Don't respond sometimes, but I'm listening. Cool. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate you actually taking the time to listen while you're working. True multitasking. I try and do that sometimes. If I get slow where I am, if I'm between stuff, but I mean, I'm doing it on a little phone, like like this. So, I'll try and bring up some of the guys doing coding, and they'll be typing something. It's like, oh, how did he do that? I don't know, because it's like this big and I can't read anything, but I can't like bring out like a proper screen. I get in trouble if I try to like put it on a proper screen. But I do like watching those. It's interesting to see how the other people approach it and see how I'm doing. So my dream is to get to like Andy Schatz's level of like people watching. Andy is definitely the indie dev king, I think, in terms of like streaming developer kind of stuff. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have. Although actually I met him when he had just released one of his earliest games. I met him at Game Developer Conference, and I talked to him for a little while. When I lived in LA, we actually met up a few times, but I had actually talked to him initially about maybe doing animation work for him, but I didn't. I guess I got too wrapped up in my stuff, and he got wrapped up in his. But yeah, he's definitely got the whole streaming down to a science, and he is able. I would love to know how he does this. He actually streams like regular music in the background, and I don't think he gets dinged for it. But I've done it a couple of times where I had just like streaming soundtracks, and then I come back and look at my streams later, and they're all marked as like blasphemy. You had music. We're muting your audio. It's kind of like, but it's like the volume's like that much in the background. It's not like I'm, ripping them off, But oh well. He's got a system that I don't know how he does it, but I'll have to figure it out someday. Or just, I don't know. Maybe no music. Just keep talking the whole time. That might get old fast, right? All right. So let me go. Let's see. Yes, should count as. Yeah, I mean, I totally get where they're coming from. I mean, it's their product. They want to make money off of it. But I mean, if it's something that's, just like so subtle background, yeah, it'd be nice. I think actually I went out and got a bunch of my in Unity. I own a bunch of music from assets I've gotten over the years, and I have a bunch of chiptune music. So I was gonna put that together. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I mean, here there's just enough ambient noise that I think it's not boring. It's not just my voice. But when I get back home, I may start doing that. I may try and put together just some subtle chiptune music that won't get me in trouble. But at least there'll be something tinking in the background, so it's not just me. Okay, so what I want to do is actually, I guess, I could actually just go straight to the versus. Yeah, I'll just do it with the temp script. Temp object, rather. So let me go game object temp. Oops. It is equal to, and then I gotta find. I'm gonna find him first. So a game object find. Hey, look, I'm actually typing something for a change instead of just running my mouth. Woohoo! All right. So I'm gonna track down. I have this. So I have just these generic game objects, empty game objects on both these islands. Here's the red side and the blue side, and whichever mascot I load up, I just parent to that. So then what I want to do is just try and find the child. So I'm going to find that first I'm going to find that object, and then I got to find the child of it. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to do the red first. Let me see if I can just, rather than do a whole nother layer of temp object, I'm going to try and go crazy and see if I can go straight to it. So I'm going to say the red script would be attached to the child of that. So I'll say the equal to the temp temp object get child string name. That's gonna be a challenge because I don't know, since there's multiple mascots. How do I get that with just the identifier, not the actual name? That matches. I could go through a for loop, I guess, and just check all 5, because there's only 5 mascots it could be. So it'd be mascot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could do it that way. But no, there's got to be some way to do it with just like an ID, right? Get. Let me try component and children. Maybe I can get away with it that way. System site. Yeah, there we go. Oh, crud. I'm not sure the true. Villager menu version. So it'd be. Would it be get component? No, it's get component. I already have that. So, you know what? I'm gonna see if I have another example of this somewhere. Hey. Children collider. Oh, that's it. Let me grab that as my reference. Oops. There you go. I like cheating a lot. If I've done it somewhere else, I'll pull it back out. Cool. Okay. So get component in children. In this case, it's going to be. Oh, didn't like that. Main. No, it's called Villager menu version. Menu version. There it is. Cool. So that actually should get me straight to it. I should have the script at that point. And then I'll do the same. But then find the blue. So let me change this from red to blue. So I got to make sure I run this after the villager is physically attached to that locator, to that empty object. Otherwise, it's going to throw an error, of course. Oh, actually, that's wrong, isn't it? Nope, that is right. This is what I'm changing. So blue script, and that should good. So once I kick that off, I should have red script and the blue script, so it won't error out from that point on. Now the question mark is, when do I actually tell it to search for the mascots? I guess I could just do it. Let's see. Start. doing a online game. After all that's happening, I just throw it right here in the middle somewhere. Just tell it to find the mascots. Because at this point, we're doing an online game, so if I just toss them in here right in the mix, those mascots should be loaded, so it shouldn't throw an error. Now, the other place that could happen is select local game. In the off chance that there's no one to play, it reverts back to AI, but treats it like an online game. So let me find mascots. There. So that should make that work. Let's give it a try. Let's see if I did that right my first try. Oh, you know what? I could, just to be doubly safe, just to, I'm going to just do this. Looking for mascots. And I'll throw my little boom, boom, boom in front of there. So if that pops up, we know that it actually did search for it. So let it compile one more time. I'll fire it off. All right. So I was cooking. So I did mention, I'll mention them again. I will not be online Wednesday night because I will be at 30,000 feet flying back home for a brief trip. But I will come back on Friday unless something pops up that I'm not expecting. But I should be back on Friday from my home location. Why is it chewing for forever? This is getting scary. It shouldn't take that. What? Huh. Okay. Now, once again, I am working off my thumb drive, so that may be upsetting it, but did I just completely lock up? Let's see. I don't think I've actually changed anything, so I can actually kill this if I have to and not worry about losing anything, but I would like to not do that. Let me see. Is it going to say fewer details? No. It doesn't show it as not responding, and it doesn't show it as compiling the scripts. I think it's dead, Jim. It doesn't show as hung in the task manager, but I think it is actually foobarred. So I'm going to kill it and restart. Oh, okay. In task. Let's try that. Is dead. Is dead, Jim. Yeah. Yep. Which is kind of weird because normally when that does happen, watch, it's going to compile the scripts again. Watch, it's going to do that. Watch. Yep, I knew it. You better not have broke something. If you broke something, I'm going to be so pissed at you, Unity. Tell me it didn't break it. Uh-oh. Oh. Wait. Okay. It's loading. Hey! I was about to put that at about 50-50. Starting to think I nuked it from orbit there. Alright, push that back out. There you go. Okay. So, where was I? Oh, I forgot to mute audio. Dong, 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 dong. Always mute it just because I've listened to it way too many times over the years and you guys don't want to sit through it right now. Alright. It's doing something. It's maybe. No, once again, I am going off of my memory stick, so I mean that's probably why it's being a pain, but there it is. Boom, 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 doom, 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 doom. Okay. All right. So let's try this out. Like that. All right. So now what I want to see is these guys are going good. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So now I need show versus menu. That's good. There are 2 audio listeners. Ugh. Okay, I'll ignore that for right now. Let me see if I can finish them off real quick. It shouldn't be because it's. I think it didn't actually turn off. Should have turned off the versus camera, but I guess it didn't. All right. Let me concentrate here for a second so I can just plow through this really quick. Here we go. I'll go. Boom. Oh, come on. There you go. You can see a little bit better now. Oh, look at that. Ah, I'm missing everything. I'm just trying to, like, cruise through this, and I'm just playing terrible. There it is. Okay. Just doing this just so I can see at the end. Go ahead. Go for the cloud. See if I care. Because I'm going to finish you off. There we go. All right. I want to, like, shrink this back down. I say respect. Let's see. There it is. Yes, it worked. I actually fixed something for a change. Woohoo! Sweet. Okay, so what is happening here? What the cool thing is as I said, originally these guys were hard-coded, right? They were loaded, and all the stuff was already just kind of like preset. But now I've actually got it back to just prefabs. So now it loads it on the fly, and it grabs them after the fact and works. So the nice thing is, let's see, it's already after 10. I was gonna say I could switch out the start switching on the characters, but because this is a slightly older version, I don't have the other mascots plugged back in. I gotta go through that again. So you know what? I'll do that at my off time, so you guys don't, because I've already done it like twice, I think, when I had stuff break. So I'll do that later on my own time, but hopefully next go around I'll have it where it's loading up the different villagers. But that's cool. That's actually a big thing. I have to see if it actually loads in the correct ones. I'll figure that out later. Excuse me. What I'm going to have to try and do is, I may do this at home, is to test on multiple devices with the different mascots to see if it actually sends the data over correctly. Which I may not have done. I actually may have hard-coded that, so it probably isn't right anyways. But it's getting closer. That's great. The fact that it starts off with no characters on the island, as it was in the beginning, they were just hard-coded, but now it actually drags them in at runtime. So, cool. That's actually good. And that's an oath. Actually, why did that shouldn't... I thought that was because I had this error when I was playing with it over the weekend. I thought that was because I had no internet activity, but this is my networking. Send host. Okay, let me try it this way. Oh, crud. Announce host. Host loaded. I love to share a net, but it does this one thing. It's kind of funky where it splits some of the commands into 2 different classes, and it's kind of a pain to reunite them. So what I would like to do is actually have this is just doing a remote function call to the other player, but obviously it's kicking off before they're synced. So what I'd like to do is able to check, like right here, if connected, but I don't think that's actually a command that's on the TNO side. Is mine, is invoking, is joining channel, is active and enabled. Hey, okay. I might be able to use that. If not active and enabled, then bail. Return. Cool, that actually could knock it out, maybe, if that command has behavior and had enabled called. Let's see if that does it. Uh-oh. Is it going to compile this time? Or is it just going to sit there endlessly? Hey, there he goes. Alright. Oh, it's thinking. Alright, no error. Let's see. If the error pops up, it's going to pop up like right away. Yeah, it's still doing it. So yeah, unfortunately, doing the is it active and enabled is meaningless. That doesn't actually see if it's truly online. So I have it. So I kind of have to kick it off in the beginning. Let's see. Maybe I can. I need to do it in the beginning just to see. What is the issue? It's. Sorry, I can't see. It's what's happening is my networking software, the networking tool I use called DishareNet. It's throwing an error, because it's trying to send over a remote call to the other player, but there is no other player yet. But the reason is I make sure it's active in the beginning, so that way when you first log on to see if you're online, it checks two things. It checks the user player file, which is online, and then it checks for the networking, which I do at the beginning, but maybe I can get that not to happen. Let's see if so this is on start. No. Actually, it's on game controller. It's on start. So yeah, I'm loading the script. Okay, so I got it. Here's what I can do. I'll just yeah, is guest, and let's see. I'll do it here. If I add a bool, say do announce equals true, so it defaults to true, and then if not do announce, then return, and don't do that. Oops, return. Sweet. All right. So what happens is I'm loading the remote procedural call script at when it's starting up the game, but I also do it initially when it logs in, which I probably don't have to do, but this is like legacy code from like 2 years ago when I was still trying to figure out how to make the networking happen. But this is a bit of a hack, but it should work. So now when I do this at start, I'm going to just say this will be false here. There. So it shouldn't actually do that call this time. So I think this will fix it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can like make this text a little bit larger. I don't know. I know it's like when I watch other people do it, it's really hard to read it sometimes. I could do it that way. Okay. No, it's still coming up. You jerk. So start. Set active. Debug log. Let's try to announce. It should be saying false here. To announce true, and I'm saying it's false. To announce. Not to announce return. Unless there's another place in my code where it actually calls that. Alright, let's see if this at least gives me a little insight. This should come up as do announce false. Oh. Oh, I got this. Do announce true. Really? But I say false. Wow, that was unexpected. That says false right there. Am I calling it twice or something? Let me just... false. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, I think I realized what I just did wrong. Oh, sorry. It's actually second command, isn't it? I got. That's it. I'm just getting stupid. Uh, is guess, and it doesn't matter because we didn't reach that. Yeah, I'm putting that false in there, but actually there's two commands, so I need a second one. There it goes. That should make it work. All right. Clear this out. Refill my drink one more time. No error. That was it. Sweet. All right. And I mean, it's not like it's not a showstopper. I mean, it's an error that pops up as more of like a warning, but it's still. I just if I'm getting analytics from the game, I don't want to see a bunch of errors that are not truly errors. You know, that looks bad. But there you go. So I had look at that. I had 2 fixes tonight. That's like a record for me since I've been out in the field. Seems like most of the stuff I've been doing for the last week and a half is just breaking stuff. But I had a couple of nice little wins. Cool. Good effort. Thank you. Woo. I need to get. All right, let's see. 2 fixes and 1 hour shooting the crap about movies. Yes. I need to get back to the year 1985. I guess with that I could also do like Casey Kasem impressions too. I've never tried, but I know he kind of sounds that, and maybe like David Spade, because I know David Spade does like a dead-on Marty McFly impression. Me too, man. Yep. All right. Oh, so here we go. We were talking about Lucas earlier. Okay, you know what? Fine. I was productive. Time to be unproductive again. So we were talking about Lucas. My own personal favorite movie, still to this day, my own. I mean, I love Star Wars, right? I could do with some 1985. My personal favorite movie is actually Lucasfilm. It's not Star Wars. This is a personal favorite. Not Star Wars, and it's not THX. Actually, my favorite was American Graffiti. I love American Graffiti. That film is so fantastic. It was, I mean, it's just it captures like this moment in history, right? You know, it's sort of like, you know, the time in American history where the country starts growing up, right? You know, it's like takes place in one evening of 1962, and you have this collection of characters. And back then, it's kind of cool that movies frequently just told the story of a character. You've never seen it. Oh, you have to. It was a key inspiration for the old TV series Happy Days. Ron Howard actually stars in it with Cindy Williams and Richard Dreyfuss, Paul Lamont. Oh, jeez. Just tons of people. But it was so cool because what it did is it told multiple stories, right, of all these different characters that intertwine over the span of just one evening. And it was just it was so cool because that was such a novel concept back then, right? Movies just talked about a character and followed them, right? But this was this tapestry of all these different characters, and a very young Harrison Ford, Han Solo. He's in there too in a smaller role, but it is so cool because you have these characters that go through this evolutionary process, right? When the evening starts, it's the last night before the guys are going to go off to college the next day. So they just really want to blow it out, right, for one final night. And to see how they, you know, one last time to experience what they've been through, but also to sort of embrace and sort of maybe even change their minds about where they're going, right? And it's just, it's such a great film. Yeah, tons of people in that thing. Wolfman Jack, you know. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So it's, let's see, I'll check it out sometime. Yeah, put it on your list. I mean, it is an older film, right? But I think it still holds up exceptionally well. There's still, it's kind of funny. There's some actors in there. I think it was much more frequent in the films of the 70s, where you'd have some actors that would just be like amazingly atrocious, right? And it doesn't matter if, I mean, it's not like it was like, like modern low budget films, right? You see really really bad acting, right? But back then, I mean, like, go back and watch like Jaws, right? And there's some, I mean, you have amazing performances, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, all those guys, but Robert Shaw. But then you have some of these other background actors that only have like a line or two, and it'd be like nails on chalkboard, right? But the same thing for American Graffiti. There's a couple people in there, but by and large, it's just fantastic. But so they would do these filming sequences where it was so low budget. What they did was they had a car that would drag the other car, right? And then what would happen is George Lucas would sit with the camera on his shoulder in the trunk of the car and shoot the other car, and the people would do the dialogue, and they would just drive up and down the street, until he finally just said cut, right? And they had one where they kept doing the scene over and over, and they were getting no direction from George Lucas, and they kept doing it, and they finally just said, let's stop, and they pull over, and they go up to confront him to say, what's going on, right? And they went over to the trunk, and he had fallen asleep. So I mean, George Lucas like curled up in the trunk of the car with the camera, and they're just doing lines for no reason at that point, not realizing that he had fallen asleep on him. But it is. It's a personal favorite of mine. Mm-hmm. Yep. He knew it. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely dig it up. It is such a sweet film, and actually one of the first films to have like wall-to-wall music too. I mean, the soundtrack is fantastic. It's in my personal collection, and it's just there's so many. I mean, the songs of the era, right? But yeah, so when we talk about Lucas, actually that's still to this day that's my own personal favorite film. I think that one's such a sweet film. How about you? How about a favorite film? You gotta have, if not a favorite, at least a couple that are your go-tos. Adding it to my weekend. Got a long weekend this week. Sweet, nice. There you go. Yeah, I'd be very curious to see what you say afterwards. It just, like I said, the fun thing about it is watching the characters, like incredible evolution of the characters in just one night, but believably so. Man, that's so hard. Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, it's funny because I'll like when I get asked, what are your like top 3 or top 5 films? It kind of depends on what I'm thinking of at the moment. Yeah, Future is definitely up there. I agree. I agree. It's just, and I don't know if it's just because I have a nostalgia for the time period, but there's just so many films in the 80s. I mean, just in that same time span, right? Just like within a year, you have Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and the greatest Christmas movie of all time, which anyone that says it's not a Christmas movie, they're wrong, and that is Die Hard. Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. But I mean, all 3 of those films were like within 1 year of each other. It's just such an amazing, just coincidence that, I mean, just true classics, But yeah, John McCain and Hans Gruber, the all-time greatest. Alan Rickman, the all-time great villain from Die Hard. Just such a perfect film. Home Alone is also my top movie list. I love that movie. I really do. Yeah. That is such a sweet film. I mean, it never should have been as good as it was. I mean, there's just everything really clicked for it. I mean, just it's one of those things that could have like slid into like the depressing, morose kind of the kid is stuck and how's he gonna survive, or it could slide into the whole like Three Stooges style physical comedy, and either one of those could just send it spiraling out. But I mean, it just blends it so perfectly, and it's yeah, absolutely. It's one of the zeitgeist movies that just got everything right. Yeah, you're so right. It never gets old. I agree. It was, it's just yeah, and then speaking of Macaulay Culkin too, the earlier film for him was Uncle Buck. Oh, don't get me started on John Hughes. Oh, my John Hughes movies, man. John Hughes was just, he was so amazing. God, what a loss. You know, but I mean, like Uncle Buck, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. Really interesting. Yeah, that cat had 9 lives and you used all of them up right there. Yeah, that is a fun one. Yeah, I like that. I'm not sure. Let's see. Out of the out of the series, I'm not sure which one would be my favorite. To be honest, I have not watched the Lampoon movies in quite a while. Um, My Girl was a favorite of mine as a kid. Oh, so we got a Macaulay Culkin theme going here, don't we? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, very sweet film. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, so I was talking about Uncle Buck though. I mean, that was, he was such a precocious little kid. I mean, it was like so perfect in that film. And John Candy. I was in love with Vada. Eh? Wait. Oh, yeah, yeah. Uh, 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 Chomsky. Oh shoot, I'm blanking on her name. Yeah, she was. I just saw her in something recently, didn't I? Um, what did I just see? Saw her. All right. Okay, now it's bugging me. I know I just. I gotta look it up. I should remember this, but I'm tired. That's my excuse. I'm just tired. What did I just see her in recently? Anna Chums. Anna. Yeah. Chlumsky. *Halt and Catch Fire*. There you go. It was *Halt and Catch Fire*. That was oh, I love that series. That was another one that was so cool. It's kind of the birth of the PC, told in a fictional way, but like wrapped in like true history. That was good. I can't think of my absolute top movie. It's so mood dependent. I agree. I mean, I settled on the American Graffiti as my personal favorite ages ago, but I mean, I mean, it kind of depends on what pops in my head, I think, too. I mean, I could, like, go look at my DVD collection and go, oh, yeah, no, this is in the top five. Oh, no, wait, no, this is in the top five. And then I suddenly have 30 movies that are in my top five. you know? Um, I mean, Whiplash, La La Land, and Interstellar. Okay, I'll give you the first two. Whiplash, man, when he's on that stage and he calls him out. Oh wow, yeah, fantastic movie. La La Land was just so perfect. I watched that movie and I was like so obsessed trying to figure out how they shot the yeah, Whiplash is a masterpiece. I agree. I agree. J.K. Simmons, man, he automatically when he's in a movie that gets a couple stars right there. A bit weaker, but I love it. What I was trying to when it's the first time I saw it, right when they're doing that dance number when they're up by Griffith Observatory, right, and I'm trying to figure out because they have like this beautiful twilight sun in the background, right? It's just the golden hour, right? And I'm going, you can't shoot an entire dance number in that time frame, right? So I'm trying to figure out how they, and I'm going, okay, they probably shot this green screen, right, and composited later, but the camera's moving around so much, and I can't, in another low budget, and I'm like doing the math. It's like, how do they do it, So then I had to go look it up. How did they do it? They did it the old school way. They waited until the sun was almost down, and they said, hurry, let's go do it. And they would get like one or two tries before they lost the sun. And it's just the fact that they did that in true old school fashion with honest to God golden hour, and it's like, they had to be ready, because the sun wasn't going to wait on them. So they did it legitimately, right? And I just, to this day, you go back and watch that shot again and you realize, I mean, there's no retakes, right? I mean, if they mess it up, they flub it, and it's a long shot. that whole dance thing goes on for forever, right? I mean, the camera's got to be choreographed perfectly. They have to hit perfectly. They can't mess anything up, right? And it's just, I mean, incredible respect for how they pull that off. Um, but yeah, I mean, I agree. It's not a perfect film. I like the way it plays out, but no, it takes me serious when I say that La La Land was a top movie. Yeah, I mean, it's I think that let's see, they all just talk it down as rom com or something. No, no, I think it's definitely totally more than that. A rom com is where you have everything in perfectly, like a typical Sandra Bullock movie, right? Something like While You Were Sleeping, right? I mean, that's to me, oh, that's a rom com, right? But La La Land is much more like something like oh, I'll tell you a fantastic movie. This is one that's I still have it on Laserdisc. I still have a laser. I have a couple hundred movies on Laserdisc. That's how stupid I am. Um, the Fabulous Baker Boys. That that is a movie that kind of like La La Land, right? It involves music, right? It involves a uh, like a romance on the edge of happening, right? But you have Jeff Bridges and Bo Bridges playing brothers that are musicians, and they realize that they just play dueling pianos kind of thing, but their act is sort of like stagnating. So they decide they have to bring on a female singer to spice things up, to up their bookings, and they get Michelle Pfeiffer. Well, Jeff Bridges is just a total just a total womanizer. So Bo Bridges has to like play constant divider, right? He has to keep them separated because he knows if they hook up, then Jeff will ruin it because he always does, right? And so it's a really well told story. I mean, it's funny in all the right places, but it's not a light comedy at all. But it's just I think it's such a beautifully told film. Um, let's see. It's a love story to creativity and craft. It's not really about two people's love story. I think most people assume it's the latter. Yeah. No, but it's funny. So the more I think about it, the more I would say if you ever get a chance to watch Fabulous Baker Boys, sorry, um, you would actually kind of see a lot of parallels between that and La La Land. Um, where you have the frustrated musician that just really wants to play the blues and just have this other life, you know. But and it's just I mean this idealistic romantic kind of story, but you know, checking it out too. Good, yeah, just um, Michelle Pfeiffer, red dress, um, singing the song "Making Whoopee." That is just like filmmaking at its finest, right? It is just such. It is a scene that works on five different levels, and the film knows it, right? And that's why that scene is so brilliant. No spoilers, no context, but it's just it works so well. Michelle Pfeiffer, she was my cougar crush as a kid. Oh man, yeah. If you want to see a teenage Michelle Pfeiffer, what is it called? Hollywood Nights. Hollywood Nights, which was okay. Once again, I mentioned American Graffiti. Hollywood Nights was sort of the ripoff because American Graffiti, at the time, held the record for the most money a movie made versus how much it cost to actually make. It had this insane success, which is one of the key reasons why he got to do Star Wars because he had a movie that was so successful. So Hollywood Nights was a total ripoff. But it's kind of funny that Michelle Pfeiffer, a very, very young Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's a roller girl waitress, and her boyfriend is Tony Danza, a very young Tony Danza, which is kind of an odd pairing if you think about the two of them together. But I'm not necessarily recommending that one. That one's just Hollywood Nights is much more bordering on like the Porky's kind of level, even though it predates Porky's. Yeah. Yeah, Tony Danza. I thought Tony was really good in that one TV series. You know, the one that he played the character named uh, Tony. Did you ever notice that? I always thought they had to do that just because whenever they gave Tony a character name, he would never answer. You know, but I mean, you look at Taxi. His character name was Tony, right? You look at Who's the Boss? Tony, and then he had a TV series named Tony. So there's a theme in there. Ayo, oh hey, ayo, oh hey. Yep. Who's the boss? Yeah, in that. I said who's the boss, didn't I? I don't think I messed that up, but oh yeah. So speaking of who's the boss, actually I got to watch a taping of that back in the day. I actually got to sit down and yeah, that was a million years ago. Did you see Community? I didn't. I watched a couple episodes, but I never really kind of plugged into that one as much. Did Tony Danza end up in Community at some point? I'm full of Hollywood stories. Yeah, yeah, that's true. But yeah, that was my great 1985 trip. You know, the one where I came out and kind of had that Marty McFly bump in. That was that same one. It takes a bit to pick up. Yeah. Um, yeah, I know it's one of those ones that I don't actually have television, so I mean um, I don't think I really had a chance to watch it proper. One of the characters in there has a theory on who's the boss. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. So, okay, so the theory is what? That Tony's actually like a brilliant rich guy. He just does it for kicks. All right, now I'm curious. Yeah, I'm not sure. How could I actually watch? I'm not even sure if Community is on. Well, it might be on Hulu or something. Which, oops, sorry about the mic there. Hulu's like the one that I don't actually have right now. I have Netflix and Amazon, but uh, can't spot. Okay, okay. Hey, well, if you're gonna hunt down American Graffiti and it's been Dan Harmon. Okay, you want your okay? Do we want more random trivia? So Dan Harmon actually uh, yeah, the first four seasons are. So Dan Harmon actually, this is back when I was working at Digital Domain a million years ago. At this point, what like early 2000. Uh, he and some friends created something here in Hollywood called Channel 101. And what they would do is every month, people would go off and make short films. And then they'd bring them in and they'd screen them. And the audience would be like the Nielsen rating, right? And the people that liked uh, the episodes, they would vote for it, and the show would get renewed for the next month. And the ones that didn't get canceled. And uh, they had one breakout hit, one that was actually called Yacht Rock, and it was just so hysterical. It features like the music of the late 70s, early 80s. Like Kenny Loggins, Doobie Brothers, some Eagles, Hall and Oates, and that kind of stuff. And it just Dan's all over it. There's a bunch of other characters, and then it has like these cameos that would come up occasionally. You'd have like Sarah Silverman was in an episode or two, and then Drew Carey was in there. But yeah, actually, I think if you I think you could find it. But I don't know if they actually coined the phrase or if it was around before, but it kind of caught on after that. So yeah, rock. Let's see. Yeah, so there's it's on there he goes. Here's the proper. Oh, is that web show? Oh, now they're doing more. Okay, I was just trying to find the. So I mean, it's some super funny stuff. I think he actually did like Seinfeld story while we're at it. Comedians. What's my Seinfeld story? Let's see. Well, Jerry and I went to school together. Okay, no, now I'm just completely making stuff up. No, I don't think I actually have a Seinfeld story. Um, mm-mm. Nope, I don't think I actually have any connection there. Um, I could tell you tons of stuff about Julie Louise Dreyfus when she used to be on Saturday Night Live a million years ago, but nope, I have no personal Seinfeld stories. Nope, got nothing. I actually wasn't a. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I failed you. That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Julie Louise Dreyfus. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because when she was on Saturday Night Live, she was so young, and she had all these sketches with who was it? Gary Kroger was her co-star, and they always had this chemistry, and I just always kind of assumed that those two were together. But in reality, it was actually another cast member, Brad Hall, who went on to produce a bunch of the TV shows and stuff later on. But um, she, so Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are my favorite female comedians. Excuse me. Well, I'm a bit older, so I guess I would probably steer towards some of the previous ones. But yeah, I mean they're yeah. I mean, total kudos to Tina Fey too. I mean, she did a fantastic job of you know taking her experience on SNL and wrapping it up into a whole new show. So major kudos to her for that for sure. But yeah, there was one with Julia Louis Dreyfus and Gary Kroger where they play. It's like a Donnie and Marie Christmas special, and they're Donnie and Marie, and then they're singing, and they start like singing closer together, and next thing you know they start like making out. It's just it's wrong. It's just so terribly wrong, but it was really funny. But yeah, she was on there for a bunch of years, but super funny. Uh, oh wow, is it 10? Oh, it's 10:40. I probably should wind down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Sorry, it wasn't Donnie. It was actually Eddie Murphy doing the Gumby Christmas special. That's what it was. That I could probably even find a still of, if I could find. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I should pack it in. All right, I'll do this one last thing. Eddie Murphy. Did I spell that right? Oops. Gumby Christmas special. Oh, they even had the video up there. So there you go. Christmas special. Donnie and Marie. Yeah, there, there they are. Gary Kroger and a very young Julie Louis Dreyfus. Looking forward to my. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yeah, I'll wind down here. I'm way past my time, anyways. But like I said, I'm gonna miss Wednesday because I will be flying, but I will be back at it on Friday. So we'll check out American Graffiti. Please do. I'm curious to hear what you think. Personal favorite, but don't let that bias you. You know, if you think it sucks, you can. Okay, don't tell me it sucks. No, I'm kidding. No, if you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It's personal opinion, even though it's a fantastic film. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me again, and I will be back on Friday. All right. So have a good couple of days, and I will see you on Friday. So everyone else, thanks so much for hanging out, and I will talk to you people soon. All right. Uh, oh yeah, Jules. Oh, that's right. And oh, that's right. Christmas Vacation. She is the neighbor. She is the nosy neighbor. That's right. I forgot about that. She's the yuppie neighbor. All right. Cheers. Take care. Everyone take care, and I will see you guys on Friday, all right? All right, take care. Adios.